on these balls, what I'm finding is that, particularly like short ones, sometimes on the backhand, you're opting for a slice when it would have been much better if you could have stepped in and taken that shot with the topspin. Same goes on the forehand. On that odd occasion where you're opting to push it back instead of ripping a topspin ball, you're losing all the momentum in the point, and then I'm able to step into the court and usually finish it off on the next shot. Okay, so we're going to play a few more points, but this time I want you to make sure you're ready on the first shot and keep with the top spins. Okay, stay on top of the point. So my point I'm making here is, if that ball's bouncing near the service line, I'm getting a really nice connection up here on that forehand where I can almost just hit straight down. And on the backhand, because it's landing near the service line, I'm stepping in and it's working almost like an approach shot for me, where I'm putting quite a lot on it. So if you can push that bounce from the service line and get it to bounce closer to the baseline, that's going to give me a lot less ability on the forehand to hit straight down, because I'm going to be taking it lower on the way up. And on the backhand, I'm still going to be taking it early, but I'm not going to be stepping into the shot and taking it from almost near the service line. So I'm going to have to take it back here and play a rally ball rather than an attacking ball. And you're going to find that the rally is going to be very different. You're not going to be defending quite as much, and you're going to be building the rallies. Okay, so push that depth back 2 or 3 meters on every shot, and it's going to make a huge difference. Okay, just stop and contemplate the difference in these rallies. All of a sudden, you're the one that's the aggressor, and I'm just blocking them back off the baseline. Okay, keep going. Keep that depth on that shot. Okay, so your confidence has gone up because you know now, because you're hitting with depth, you're not going to be getting something coming back quite as strong. Okay, so every time you hit that ball, now you're thinking, okay, I'm in this point, now I'm going to get an easy shot, and you're more attentive, ready to step in. Okay, so let's discuss. To go from hitting the ball just behind the service line to just inside the baseline, what you've had to do is hit it harder. Maybe loosen up, let through your strokes a little bit. And this is very common for anybody who's got a heavy topspin. You're going to find that if you lose a little bit of confidence, or you're a little bit tentative, you're not going to be going through that shot as much. You might be putting more topspin on to make sure it goes in, and all of a sudden you lose the depth. And this is exactly what happens to Rafa Nadal when his game's not on. He starts hitting more topspin and the ball starts landing on the service line and his opponents start coming in. But he's got this great ability to loosen up and then apply that depth back on the shot. Okay, let's talk about the differences between your forehand and your backhand. Because on your forehand you've got this incredible access to spin with your semi-western forehand grip, and you come up and through really well. But on your backhand, because you're a two-hander, you haven't got the same access to spin like a one-hander might, just because you've got more motion, more movement in the wrist. Your two-hander is going to be a flatter shot. Okay, so you're going to be playing a different game on this side compared to as if you're playing your forehand. So when we're talking about hitting through the ball and making sure that we're getting the depth and the spin together, that's your forehand. On your backhand, without the spin, on the higher risk shot, say I'm inside the court and it's lower below the net on the contact, you're going to have to take some of the power off and use a bit of gravity to bring the ball down, unless you can really get those wrists up and generate the spin. But you're not going to have quite as much access to that spin. Okay, so it's a much flatter game on this side and loopy on that side, which is actually going to be a quite nice combo, because they're going to have different types of shots coming in, and it might help break your opponent's rhythm. Okay, so on your backhand, stay off that slice as much as possible, because the slice is just going to get you onto the defense. Unless it's an offensive slice, where you're knifing down, keeping that ball low and it's skidding through the court. On these shots which are coming just nice to your backhand, opt for the backhand. Step into the backhand, keep it flat and lean on the ball. On your forehand, make sure you get that racket head speed through the shot so you're maintaining that depth.